Hello, Professor. I will continue my tech talk. Here is my home assignment. Who doesn't love efficiency? I do. Efficiency means more for life, more miles per gallon, more light per watt, more words per minute. More for life is the next best thing to something for nothing. Algorithms, big data, the cloud are giving us more for life. Are we heading toward the friction-free utopia or toward the nightmare of surveillance? I don't know. My interest is in the present, and I'd like to show you how the past can help us understand the present. There's nothing that summarizes both the promise and the danger of efficiency like the humble potato. The potato originated in the Andes, and it spread to Europe from the Asian East. The potato is a masterpiece of balanced nutrition, and it has some very powerful friends. King Frederick and the Great of Prussia was the first enthusiast. He believed that the potato could help increase the population of healthy Prussians, and the more healthy Prussians, the more healthy Prussian soldiers. And some of those healthy Prussian soldiers captured a French military pharmacist named Parmentier. Parmentier at first was appealed by the morning, noon, and night diet fed to POWs of potatoes. But he came to enjoy it. He thought they were making him a healthier person, and so when he was released, he took it on himself to spread the potato to France. And he had some powerful friends. Benjamin Franklin advised him to hold a banquet at which every dish included potatoes. And Franklin was a guest of honor. Even the king and queen of France were persuaded to wear potatoes flowers. The king wore a potato flower in his lapel, and the queen wore a potato flower in her hair. That was a truly great PR idea. But there was a catch. The potato was too efficient for Europe's good. In Ireland, it seemed like a miracle potatoes flourished the population grew, but there was a hidden risk. Ireland's potatoes were genetically identical. They were a very efficient breed called the Lamper, and the problem with the Lamper was that a blight from South America that affected one potato would affect them all. Britain's exploitation and the colonies played a role, but it was because of this monoculture that 1 million people died and another 2 million people were forced to immigrate. A planet that was supposed to end famine created one of the most tragic ones. The problems of efficiency today are less drastic but more chronic. They can also prolong the evils that they were intended to solve. Take the electronic medical records. It seemed to be the answer to the problem of doctors' handwriting, and it has the benefit of providing much better data for treatments. In practice, instead, it has meant much more electronic paperwork, and the doctors are now complaining that they have less rather than more time to see patients individually. The option with efficiency can actually make us less efficient. Efficiency also pays back with false positives. Hospitals have hundreds of devices registering alarms. Too often they were crying wolf. It takes time to rule those out, and that time results in stress and once more the neglect of the problems of real patients. There are also false positives in pattern recognition. A school bus viewed from the wrong angle can resemble a punching bag. So precious time is required to eliminate misdefinition. False negatives are a problem too. Algorithms can learn a lot very fast, but they can tell us only about the past. So many future classics can bad reviews get like Moby Dick. All are turned down by multiple publishers like the Harry Potter series. It can be wasteful to try to avoid all waste. Efficiency is also a trap when the opposition copies it. Take the late 19th century French 75 mm artillery piece. It was a masterpiece of little design. This piece could fire a shell every hour seconds, but that wasn't so unusual. What was really brilliant was that because of the recoil mechanism, it could return to the exact same position without having to be re-aimed. So the effective rate of firing was drastically increased. Now, this seemed to be the way for France to defeat Germany the next time they fought. But predictably, the Germans were working on something very similar. So, when the First War broke out, the result was a trench warfare that lasted longer than anybody had expected. A technology that was designed to shorten the war prolonged it. The best cost of all may be missed opportunities. The platform economy connecting buyers and sellers can be a great investment, and we have seen that in the last few weeks. Companies that are still losing hundreds of millions of dollars may be creating billionaires with initial public offerings. But the really difficult invitations are the physical and chemical ones. They mean bigger risks. They may be losing out because hardware is hard. It's much harder to scale up a physical or chemical invitation than it is a software-based invitation. Think of batteries. Lithium-ion batteries in portable devices and electric cars are based on a 30-year-old principle. How many smartphones' batteries today will last a full day on a single charge? Yes, hardware is hard. It took over 20 years for the patent on the principle of dry photocopying by Chester Carlson in 1938 to result the XRARS 900 copier introduced in 1959. It's a small, brave company, headquartered in Rochester. NY had to go through that. Most cooperations were never tolerated. There was one failure after another, and one of the special problems was fair. In fact, when the 914 was finally released, it still had a device that was called a scratch eliminator. I think here is my assignment.